Hello everyone, it's Brett here, Lionheart84, and quite unusually this month, the first of the month falls on a Sunday, because I always try and do a garden tour on the first Sunday of each month. In the summer months we can see how things are developing, or not as the case may be. So weather's pleasant, so it's a good opportunity between the parrots squawking. It's a good opportunity to, or parakeets, good opportunity to have a walk around the garden. I'm just looking, you won't be able to see the distance, but there's a cherry tree over there, and I've just noticed a parakeet land in the cherry tree, so perhaps they're taking a liking to cherries, and I think that's probably a sour cherry. Anyway, let's get on with the walk around. So have a look at the medlar first. Seems to have set some fruits this year. Some of them are small and look as if they're drying out, so that one there probably will fall, but this one looks as if it's going to be okay. So I'm quite pleased with how that's progressing. On the wall behind the medlar is my female kiwi berry. Again, I don't think it's set any fruit because of course I haven't got a male pollinator, but I'm hoping by next year the male I've planted will be flowering, so we'll start to get some fruit on this. Carrying on further, what you can see here is a white mulberry. This is Carmen. Let's try that. It's absolutely loaded in fruits, nice and sweet. I have to start picking them because the insects get to them. Behind it is have a quick look behind here is my hardy citrus hidden away behind here. Well, not hardy because it died back to the ground, but it's come back again. I'm pretty sure that what came back was the rootstock. It's never had any flowers on it. It was originally a Myers lemon, or it's not as yet had any flowers, although the leaves look like a lemon and smell like a lemon. I would suspect they aren't, because I think it would have flowered by now had it been the Myers lemon, but at least the rootstock's nice and strong. There's one of my mulberries, no, not one of my mulberries, my blueberries next to it. Can't remember which variety this is. This is the mid-season one normally. Produces quite decent sized fruits, and you can see that's absolutely loaded. Let's go past the this white mulberry and pick a couple more off again. They're small, but they're lovely and sweet. If you leave them on a day or two too long, they just fall on the ground. Best way to eat mulberries is pick them off the tree and eat them straight away. Very nice. Next to the mulberry, I've got my first of my name variety in ground pineapple guavas off each others. I did feature this a couple of days ago in a standalone video because the first flowers opened on the 1st of June, which is amazing. Very, very early. And for people who are interested, you can eat the petals on these flowers. They're a nice sort of pinky colour inside. Got a nice sweetness to them. I'm not overwhelmed by them. I find them a bit soggy, but I know some people absolutely love eating them. Behind it is another blueberry, and in front of that is my final blueberry, which is the earliest variety. Can't remember which one this is, but these should be starting to ripen in another 2 or 3 weeks time. On the ground, in the ground behind, is my male kiwi that I planted in the hope that it will eventually pollinate this female next to it, which I need to sort of keep under control because it's getting too big again. In ground here we've got my a seedling persimmon. Cut it back hard last year. It hasn't got any flowers on it. It's supposed to be an Asian seedling, but it did produce one fruit for me once, and it was about the size of a pea. So I'm not too sure what it is exactly, although the leaves don't look like a lotus. But of course, pomegranate from seed is basically you don't know what you're going to get. Okay, and in the ground here is the is my next pineapple guava name variety. This one is Apollo. This has been planted to replace a seedling that I took out. I did cut it back hard before I planted it, but it's now putting on nice new shoots, and I have noticed it has got a few flower buds on it, so with a bit of luck I better cross-pollinate it with the mammoth, and we should get some should possibly get some Apollo fruit on it this year. Next to it is my pomegranate, in-ground pomegranate. It has been flowering a little bit. That's a male flower there. Hasn't got a large quantity of flower buds on it, but nevertheless there are a few. And that flower down there I believe is a female. Trouble is the pollen's not been ready at the right time to cross-pollinate them, but you never know, we might get a fruit set this year. This will carry on flowering probably for about 2 months, and hopefully as it puts out new growth we'll get a few more flowers out of it. It's an unknown plant. I don't know if it's if it originally was a name variety, but it was sold as an unknown seedling from Bernkoos, so who knows what we've got. Moving along to my next pineapple guava. This one is my Triumph, normally the earliest one to flower, and normally the mammoth is behind it, but this is quite a lot later this year. It hasn't got a lot of flower buds because I cut it back quite hard because it was getting very untidy. But I see there are some flower buds developing now on some of the shoots, and I would say that pineapple guavas or feijoas do, to be honest, fruit a flower here from probably late June all the way through into August, so there's a very good chance to be able to cross-pollinate it later on. Just quickly before I move on to the other side, above it is my Caesalpinia. I think that's Gillesii, that one. I cut that back hard, but it's got flower buds coming on it now, and they'll be out in about 2 weeks' time, and they're stunning looking. Next is my in-ground pawpaw, obviously unnamed variety. Now I believe, I can't see them now because the leaves have grown too much, but I've got a feeling that a handful of fruits had set on it. I did try and cross-pollinate it with the Prima, but the problem is because it's leafed out so heavily I can't actually see if any of the fruits have set now. Probably be more noticeable later in the season. If they have set and they get a bit larger, I'll be able to spot them, but at the moment I can't see any to show you at all. And next to it in the ground is my Crenum, not an edible plant. I've just got that for the flowers, which if it flowers this year should be out in about 6 weeks time, probably sometime in July. Moving around, gonna look at my Chilean guavas. I've got 2 Capao here, and if we get down and show you a little bit closer, these are absolutely smothered in flower buds, which is like most of the other plants in the garden, they're all a little bit early this year, but I mean every stem has got dozens and dozens of flower buds on, so I think there's a very good chance we'll get a decent crop this year of Capao. And next to it I've got a Villarica strawberry, much smaller plant which produces smaller flowers, but these should be open into a nice bell-shaped flower in probably the next 2 to 3 weeks time, I would say. Now I'm going to see if I can manage to slip past this without damaging any stems, because what I want to show you down here now is my in-ground cherry guava, which is now starting to put out shoots all over the plant. It did suffer a little bit of cold damage and die back this year, and obviously I had it covered and protected, but nevertheless it's still suffered dieback, but it's now got new shoots coming out all over the place, and I'll be very interested to see I can't see it at the moment, but I'll be interested to see if it produces any flower buds this year. It has flowered once for me the first year I put it in, but then that winter it got killed right back to the ground. I'll have a look at the new shoots around the other side in a minute. And in the grounds here, and amazingly shooting out again, is a Suriname cherry. So I'm pleased with how that's looking. Some of the shoots look dead, but it's got lots of new growth coming on other shoots. I'll probably just have to trim the dead bits off. In ground here is my Maypop, Passiflora. Oh, my mind's gone blank for the minute. What Passiflora is it? Oh well, I'll think of it in a minute. Anyway, it's the Maypop. So that's the one that dies back to the ground every year. It's sending out lots of new shoots now. Of course, being deciduous does cause a little bit of a problem because it takes a while for the new shoots to grow and get to a flowering size. We probably won't see flowers on this until, I should imagine, the end of June. But it is proving to be reliable each year. Excuse me. And obviously next to it I have planted a Passiflora caerulea, blue passion flower, and the whole idea of this is I'm hoping this is going to cross-pollinate my Maypop if I get flowers on it this year. I will incidentally put the Latin name of the Maypop onto the video, probably, but I have no idea why I've temporarily forgotten. That's the problem with all these plant names, you tend to forget. So let me just sit down here a minute and have a look at this. Just want to have a quick look at this, closer look at this cherry guava. These shoots are a little bit longer here. Yeah, there's no sign of any flowers on them, so I'm not convinced we're going to see any flowers this year, but at least if it puts on some decent growth, that will improve it for next year, hopefully, and then we'll see what happens with it. I did have another Maypop in the ground. That one hasn't come to anything at the moment, but often when they're new ones, or rather not in the ground, I put it in a pot, but often when they've been newly planted, they do come up, but it takes them a bit longer, so I haven't lost hope with that one at the moment. Looking at the first of my two jujubes, this one here is the Lee, and I think you can probably see that it's got a load of flower buds developing on it, so that's going to be flowering in the next 2 or 3 weeks. All these plants are running about 2 weeks early this year. Next to it is the Lang, that also has flower buds developing in the leaf axils. Behind the jujubes, excuse me, I've got all of my Asian pears. First one here is Shinziki. It's got plenty of fruits on it. I really should bag these now before the codling moths get into them, and I'll probably need to thin them out a bit as well, otherwise we'll end up with too many fruits, and the fruits will be on the small size. Behind the Shinziki, if I can get into the corner here, is my Nijisiki. I think it's also known as 20th century. That's also got a good fruit set on it. They've really set well this year. Too much weight for the branches. In ground, I've got my Korean Giant, also known as Olympic. That's also set some fruits. I'm probably going to thin most of those off, but I'll leave a couple on because I'd like to try and taste one. And behind the Korean Giant, I have got my Kumoy, and the Kumoy has also got fruits on it, so it's really looking like a good fruit set this year. I can walk back out here. Not a hardy outdoor plant, but I've got my seedling avocado. This is a bacon. Looks like it's about to put out another new flush of growth. Looking a little bit yellowy. I think it's very, very pot bound. It's in a very small pot, so I ought to repot that in the next week or two when I've got time. Next to it is my Szechuan pepper. This is Xanthoxylum bungianum, this particular one. It's been busy flowering. All of the shoots are covered in flowers, so we're going to have a good, very good crop of Szechuan peppers this year. Moving round, if I can just slip round here, I've got my carabine tree. It's putting out lots of new growth, lovely red stems and shoots on the new growths. Haven't seen any signs of flowers on it this year, although they tend to flower more at the end of summer into the autumn. It's quite a decent sized plant, so it might flower this year, but I don't even know whether it's a male or a female or self-fertile, so I guess we'll have to wait and see if we ever get any fruits on it. Another one on my mulberries here. This baddie needs repotting. It's very, very root bound. This one is agate, which produces a lovely large red, a lovely large sort of reddish black berry, which is a really nice fruit, so I really want to get that repotted. First of my named potted pawpaw, this is my small one. Now this is Pennsylvania Golden. Now currently it's still holding on to a couple of fruits, but they don't look very promising to me. They look a bit weedy, the fruits. So that one there is going to fall off for sure. These two here might hold on if we get really lucky, and there's another two at the back there. Now I've never had fruits on my Pennsylvania Golden, but if you have a look at the difference in size between that and next to it, I've got my Prima. I think in comparison you can probably see how much bigger the embryo fruits are on the Prima. I mean, the Prima's in a much larger pot, of course, and this has got a lot of fruit set on it this year. I mean, a seriously good quantity of fruit set. Now whether or not these are all going to hold, or they often drop, a lot of them, in June and July, so I'm going to have to look after the plant, make sure it's kept well fed and watered, but it's got a nice fruit set on it, which is very promising. Next to it is my this one is the Rojo Brillant. No flowers on it at all this year, still in the pot. Obviously I'm going to be putting some of these in the ground probably later in the year. The persimmon behind me, which is, if I remember rightly, is a hybrid. That one is Russian Red. Now it has got some flowers on it, although they look like male flowers to me, so I don't think there's any likelihood of seeing fruits on it yet, because the male flowers normally come in bunches, and as this is the hybrid, it's probably likely to produce more male flowers, and very occasionally as it gets larger it should produce females. However, it's not to say it's Russian Red, because you never know with the labelling on these what you're going to get. Let me walk back through here again, carry around this side. Got a few figs still because I didn't sell them all off. I kept a few varieties, and this one here, which is actually the fig that's over there, I think this might be a Verdone. This has actually got a Braber fig on it. Is that the Verdone or is that the Goutte d'Or? It's got two figs on it, two Brabers on it. There's another one here, but I really can't remember if that's the Verdone or the Goutte d'Or, but we'll wait and see anyway. One of the persimmons that I did keep, this one here, this is the Russian Beauty, which I believe is the same as Rossianka. I cut it back because it was looking really straggly, but I also left some shoots on it which have got flower buds on, as you can see, and they are female flowers. So if they set, we should get a few fruits. Now you might remember me mentioning my Hira Tananashi, which had one single flower bud on it, and at the moment it's still there. So I'm going to leave that and see what happens to it. There's a chance it'll hold, you never know. Moving along, one of my potted cherry guavas. I've just moved some of them out to be amongst the other plants, to give them a little bit of shade, and that's got that one has got flower buds on it. Next to it I've got my Hachia, the one that I've repotted recently. I've done a separate video on that which I haven't put out yet. This has got flowers on it as well. I have noticed a couple dropping, but nevertheless some of them look as if they're going to probably be holding. Behind it I've got my Pakistan mulberry, or Shartut mulberry. It's got a handful of fruits on it. That's got to go into the ground as well. Not sure when I'm going to get time to do that. Let me just step through the plants if I can. I've got two young jujubes down there. They're both dong. They came from Jurassic Plant Nursery. Wanted to step through here to show you my chocolate vine. They're looking absolutely incredible, the amount of fruits it's set on them, and they're really developing well, to be honest, for this time of year. They're not normally this large by the beginning of June, so they're either going to be ready very early or they're going to be huge fruits this year. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, no fruits on the mulberry that are edible at the moment, so I can't try those for you. Still got one variegated Chilean guava down there. That's Flambeau. That's looking good. Just walking back through to the front again. Oh, squeeze between the plants. My defoliated loquats are now putting out leaves again, so we're getting lots of new shoots on them. You can see lots of new growth there. A few green fly on them. They seem to attract the green fly, I must admit. And but obviously lost all their leaves, which is a bit frustrating. Moving around to the other side here, here's another one of my cherry guavas. I think this is a yellow one that I've got sitting amongst the other plants in pots. I cut it back really heavily, but I noticed it's got loads of new growth coming out everywhere on it. Behind it is the only pineapple guava that I've still got in a pot, or Feijoa, and this one is, whoops, if I can get round to it, is unique. Got plenty of flower buds on it. Really needs to go into a bigger pot, so I ought to do that so it doesn't get too affected. And on the other side, the chocolate vine here, and again there's loads and loads of fruits. You can't always see them this time of year because they tend to get hidden by the leaves, because the leaves are quite similar, but they're going to make an amazing display. Now next to that, on the fence, and this is a north facing fence, until it gets up to the top, this tends to sort of suffer a little bit here from the lack of light, but this is my Issei, my Actinidia arguta Issei, my self-fruitful kiwi berry, and this is for the first time. It's got loads of fruits, loads of flowers on it, I should say. Did have a few last year, but of course they were all eaten by the snails, but this year it's got a few dozen flowers, so I'm quite optimistic I might get a few fruits on those if I keep it well fed and watered. Carrying around, this is my little Che here, or Chinese mulberry. It's looking okay. I cut it back quite hard to get it to bush out. It's a nice ornamental plant. Don't know if it'll ever flower or fruit, or how big they have to be. Another one of my persimmons here, had no flowers on this one at all. This is one that I'm hoping to put in ground. And more persimmons. There's another one here. This is a dual fruited apple, didn't produce any flowers for me. Another persimmon here. This one I think is this vanilla. No, that's the Tipo. This one's the Tipo, which means this one's vanilla. Again, no flowers on it. And interestingly, although I've lost pretty much all the apricots, there's still one apricot sitting on here. One little, like, embryo type one, and one nearly full-sized one. So there's an outside chance I might get one apricot, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm not counting my chickens. Up here I've got my Moldovan pink mulberry. That's also loaded in developing fruits now, but that will be about 2 or 3 weeks behind the white one, but it's got dozens and dozens of fruits on it, so I'm looking forward to getting a few of those to eat this year. This one is my Morus nigra black mulberry. These fruits are much smaller, but they're a lovely sort of rich berry flavour to them, so I'm looking forward to getting a few of those. Moving along, young persimmon called This variety's been called Karaoke, but I don't know anything about it. My nectarine I showed the other day, which I've bagged in the hope that I can keep the insects and birds off it, but that remains to be seen. And finally, we can just have a quick look at my in-ground fig. Still got some Brabers on it. Obviously some of them have now turned yellow and dropped off, but I can see quite a few decent sized ones there. Let's have a look. You see these ones closer here. These ones are a very, very good size for the 1st of June. I mean, the rate these are developing, they're going to be monsters, and they're probably going to be ready by the beginning of July, looking at the size of those, because they do ripen very quickly at the last minute. Finally, my Japanese raisin tree. So I really think that's all I need to show you now. These little walk-arounds do take about 25 minutes. And obviously I've now come back to the white mulberries. Really sweet. And there are just dozens of them. Just best eaten straight off the tree. And when you hold them, they pretty much fall off when they're ripe, so you know they're ready. I could take them inside and wash them, but I haven't been using any sprays in the garden, so really and truthfully these should be perfectly okay to eat. Yeah, they don't quite come off when you touch them. If they don't come off easily, then it means they're not ready. But if you can just give them a gentle touch like that and they fall off, it means they're ready to eat. Anyway, that was the first Sunday in June walk around. Plenty happening. Hopefully it was of some interest to her. Nothing much happening in the way of flowers on the persimmons apart from a couple of trees, but then again I sold most of the ones off that were likely to flower anyway. I just wanted to give people the best plants really, so had a good chance of seeing flowers on them. So thanks for sticking with me for the video if you have. I've shown most of the plants. I know I haven't shown, I've always missed one or two when I'm walking around because it's so easy to miss them. But at least it's enough there to keep your interest going for a little while. Please give me a thumbs up, share the video if you think anybody would like to see my little garden walk arounds. Subscribe to my channel if you've seen things that interest you and you're not subscribed already. It's completely free. And remember to click on the bell if you'd like to know when my normal videos come out, which obviously tend to be a little bit shorter as a whole. I only make 3 or 4 minute videos. I'll see you all soon. Brett out for now.